I'm ready. Yeah, let's I got my Luca jersey on, my Mavs jersey on, my Mavs hat on.
Yep,
I'm
Mavs
stoked.
out. So let's
Um
I'll let you lead off. Where were
okay.
you? How did you feel initially when you saw the
So
news?
it's kind of crazy actually. I was at our spring baseball tryout,
Okay.
and so I was in the stands, and luckily when the news broke, um there was a different age group hitting at the time. So I didn't necessarily have to be paying too much attention.
Right.
And then we actually heard somebody else talking about like Spencer Dinwiddie and Dodo, and we were like, wait, did the Mavs make a trade? And I opened my phone and it says Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't really believe it at first, obviously, because everything's crazy nowadays. Especially after today when it came out that they still weren't necessarily official and they were waiting to see if they could get a third team involved.
Yeah, I was trying to trying to expand the deal to get some other pieces moving, which is pretty standard for NBA trades.
Right, which makes sense, especially with the trade deadline not being till Thursday still. So,
Yeah.
but obviously, Mavericks fans have PTSD with DeAndre Jordan and that whole ordeal, and there's been other people who have backed out of agreements in recent past in sports history. So,
This one's not coming back.
no, not
This one's
well,
not coming back.
especially now. It's official now. But earlier
Did they
today,
actually make it official? I hadn't
yeah,
seen
it's
that yet.
officially official now. It is done deal. He's in Dallas.
Okay.
He'll be making his debut on Wednesday night in LA
It's the
against the
Clippers, right?
Clippers. Yes. So I was there. The crazy part about it was the reason I started it off that way. I was at the tryouts for that, and I guess it was 3 years ago. I was at our baseball tryouts when we got the news that Kobe died, and it's just like
Oh yeah.
there's always crazy sports stuff happening at these tryouts, but the weird part about it happening this time was that the tryouts got pushed back. Like they weren't even supposed to happen this Sunday. And
Yeah,
so
they were supposed to be last weekend, wasn't it?
yeah,
But
they were
the
supposed to be
weather.
last weekend, and then not only that, but he had already like with his normal schedule had moved it as well. And so not only did we have to do it, so it was just kind of crazy that we had multiple crazy news things have happened on these tryout days, and it's just funny because you hear the buzz going through the managers. We're all just like, whoa, and like
Right.
start talking
It's like,
about it and stuff.
did you see
So
this shit? Did you see this
yeah,
shit?
see, this one was a more positive one, obviously.
Right. Yeah. I
So,
mean the I remember the day that Kobe passed, and like we were out doing me and Aurora were out doing yard work, and I just happened to look at my phone and I'm like, Kobe died. And she's like, what? Like Kobe, he died. And we both just like kind of stopped what we were doing and like, damn. Anyway,
yeah.
let's
No, dude, it was weird at the tryout because all the managers kind of stopped what we were doing, but like all the guys out there trying out had no idea.
right.
And so we
You're
just
like,
kind of had
damn,
to
we're that bad. Like,
right.
look at their faces. They look like somebody died. We're that bad.
Oh, that's fucking funny, dude. That
Yeah,
is funny.
that's terrible. I apologize, baby
It
Jesus.
is. It is. Hey, it's been a while now. It's okay to have a little bit of comedy about it. That's how we move on.
You know,
Everybody,
I think Kobe would have laughed at that joke, so I feel
right?
okay.
Okay, we got to stop now. So, Kyrie
Already
Irving,
off the. We're 10 minutes in and we're off the rails.
Kyrie Irving, and Markieff Morris. The big headliner, really, Markieff Morris.
Yeah.
Traded from the Nets to the Dallas Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a 2029 first rounder, and then two
Yep.
second rounders. I don't know
Unprotected.
what.
Is
The
the
funny thing
20
is,
is 27 and 28 second rounders, I think.
okay, I think that sounds right. But the funny thing is, they were talking about it on the radio today. That 2029 first round pick that you just traded is essentially like an eighth grader right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hey, that's the way NBA works, man.
Yeah,
Trade
that's just
7 years
crazy.
out picks, which I mean, it's insane that you can
Yeah.
trade picks that far out. But you have to the way these teams are are swapping picks for these stars, man.
That's true. Yeah, the NBA
Not so
has been
much the
getting kind of
Mavs,
crazy.
but there's extenuating circumstances to the Kyrie Irving trade that make it not be six picks.
Right, exactly. The crazy part is like Dallas for a long time, like we were not known as somebody that would make trades, and now it's like 3 of the last 4 years, basically, we've had a big trade go down, and it's just kind of exciting to see that they are trying things. Like
I think
they're not.
I think they finally learned their lesson that free agency is not the way forward for the Mavericks. Like big time free agents just don't sign with the Mavericks, so they've got to do it through trade.
Well, not only that, but they did. I think Cuban was the one that he mentioned. Kyrie Irving has a good track record of actually bringing people in too, and so like that could kind of help, depending
You
on
got to
how
get
well this goes.
you got to get Kyrie Irving to come in first.
Yeah. Um, so my personal opinion, I am super excited on the fact of how it could work
Yes.
because they could definitely work really, really well together. Because what do teams like to do usually against Luca? Double team him, but you can't double team Luca if you got Kyrie Irving over there.
Yeah,
So
on court, it is an absolute perfect fit. Absolutely a perfect fit. Like there's not on court, there's probably not a superstar in the league that fits better alongside Luca than Kyrie, who does have experience playing alongside other superstars. He's played with
exactly,
LeBron. He won a title with LeBron. He's played with Kevin Durant. Not that much because the injuries and everything else, but he has played with Kevin Durant and been successful with those teams. He even played. He was really him and James Harden were a really good pairing for the little bit that those two were together without KD on the floor. Like it's a perfect fit basketball wise. It's just a matter of how much Kyrie is Kyrie going to be.
yeah, and that's really the hard part. I mean, obviously, we all know that that comes with the territory. The thing that makes me feel so much better about it, and I don't know exactly how all the contracts and cap space and max contracts and all that shit. I don't know the exact details on it. I have a decent grasp of it. But the way that this works, if Kyrie decides to go anywhere and this doesn't work out, we have max cap space next season.
Yes.
To sign whoever we want if we could bring in a big fish, which like you said, that's really hard
Yeah.
for us to do. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Basically, if you lose out on Kyrie, you've got Dinwiddie's money off the books. You've got um, Finney Smith's.
Dodo.
You got his money off the books. Between that and the other guys that are on the last year of their deals, which includes Christian Wood. So if you wanted to bring Christian Wood back, that's going to cut into it. But basically, if you let go all of your 1 year deal guys, yes, you would have max space for somebody. And this isn't the biggest free agent class coming in.
True.
So who that would be, I don't know. Maybe yeah, I think Chris Middleton is one of the guys. I feel like he's probably going to end up back with the Bucks, but
Probably, but
you never know.
honestly, that's not a bad. That wouldn't be a bad fit in my opinion. He's played along a superstar as well.
Right.
Um, but
But
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm glad it's not Marcus Morris because I mean I know they're not too far apart from each other, but we've had some beef with Marcus Morris in the past as Mavericks fans. Um, but I'm really excited to have Kyrie Irving. I'm nervous about it, obviously. He seems to be excited to be here, but it did seem like he had everything that he really wanted in Brooklyn,
aside from the contract,
aside from the contract.
now the
And
Mavs
then
can't actually give him a 4 year deal right now. I think that's why we didn't see a
we can only do
contract come out
two
with this.
right
Is
now,
yeah, they
right?
can only do a 2 year deal right now. That in order to do a 4 year, they have to wait until after the season's over, and then they can offer him a 4 year deal. Which if he really just wants the 4 year deal, then and make the most money, then I guess he would re-sign with the Mavs in the offseason. It's a risk. It's definitely a risk
It
from that
is.
standpoint.
Agreed. Now, one thing that does make me think that it could kind of work out, and this could be kind of naive of me or whatever. I feel like here in Texas, the media is going to be a little bit more like you can kind of say whatever you want here. We're a little bit less judgmental, and it's not as hard of a media market as it is in New York and
Yeah,
Boston, where he's had
especially
problems.
especially with the Mavs. I mean, the Mavs, even though they're in the same city, the Mavs media market and the Cowboys media market are completely different beasts.
Right. I agree.
And so it's a
Um,
little more low profile. He can kind of just be Kyrie over there in the corner and, do his Kyrie thing and,
right.
go sit at the grassy knoll and really get into the the JFK conspiracy and
I
whatever
mean
he wants
that
to
that is
do.
true. I didn't even really think about that one, but yeah. But no, it's funny because we were just talking about Kyrie trades um, a few weeks ago. Wasn't Kyrie brought up? Didn't we talk about Kyrie possibly,
No, we were talking
or
about
was that
different Mavs trades to get a star or to get a better second fiddle to
right?
Luca, but Kyrie wasn't coming up.
Who?
I think there was a Chris Paul trade. I think that
Chris Paul. That's what it was. Yeah,
I
yeah.
had
It
a
was Chris
I had
Paul.
a Chris Paul trade for you.
Right, and that's the one I wasn't cool with. So,
Yeah,
but no, I'm totally down with Kyrie. The couple things that does suck. I did start to like Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie was pretty cool. He was good at basketball. He was recovering from his injury. He had some really good nights for the Mavs, especially when Luca was out. Um, so I did kind of like Dinwiddie, but obviously wasn't here that long, so that's not that crazy. But Dorian Finney-Smith, Dodo, made a name for himself with the Mavericks. He went undrafted out of the Florida Gators, and we signed him, and he literally just grinded and grinded and grinded, and he ended up taking a hometown discount last year to stay with the Mavericks and not go anywhere else. And this is how you get repaid in a business like this, which sucks. So
yeah,
I hate it for him. The fan base is. I'm not alone. I know so many people respect Dodo and love what he's been able to do. He became a legit starter 3-and-D guy in the NBA. He's not going to be starting for the Nets.
yeah. I'd kind of backpedal on legit starter in the NBA. He's a really good role player though. He's a guy that
he
you
he
need.
started for us for over half of a season. That's a
Yeah,
legit starter in the NBA
yeah, but the
and
Mavs
on
roster
good teams.
outside of Luca is like one of the worst teams in the NBA if they didn't have Luca.
Well, last year that was a pretty good team when Dodo and Reggie Bullock were both actually making shots versus this year when they weren't. That was a really good team, and Dodo was a part of that. And he's one of the he
Yeah,
we lost our best defender. That's for
he's
sure.
he's a really good sixth, seventh man. A really good sixth, seventh man. If he's one of your starters, that's kind of a
Well, yeah,
problem.
like I said, I mean that's how it's gonna be in Brooklyn. He's not gonna
But
start in Brooklyn.
they
So
need to replace that role though. They need
agreed. I don't
that's
think the Mavs are done.
No, they're not. They need to make another move. They need to get like a Jay Crowder would fit pretty well in this team. Um, that type of player.
I loved Jay Crowder because he started with the Mavericks, and I loved him. And now we've had some beef, like in the playoffs and
Oh,
stuff. And
just get over the beef. Get over the beef. You got to get good players in. Got to get good players in.
you're right, but no, I think if they there are rumors about Christian Wood being on the block, but if they're able to keep Christian Wood and then have Kyrie and Luca, I think this offense is going to be legit. It's going to be
Yeah,
legit. The defense is going to be suspect.
I think there's two ways you could go about it if you're the Mavs. I think that you could either shop Christian Wood for a wing, or you probably have to move on from Powell to get a wing because they need a wing. They have to get another
Mm,
3-and-D wing. They can't.
I mean, I do kind of agree. Yeah.
They need somebody that can play some perimeter defense because Kyrie, not a great perimeter defensive player. Luca, not a great defensive player out there.
Luca is actually one of the better point guards at defense. We've had this argument
Mm,
before,
I,
but
we're not gonna get. Let's not get back
you
into
can't
that.
be the
But
you can't be the only one though. So
yeah,
no, they definitely need they need some help on defense. That's for sure. I can't argue with that. My only argument that I could say would be if you score 150 points a game, it's
Nobody's scoring
50-50 shot.
150. Nobody's scoring 150 a game. You got to have
We
somebody that's
have
gonna
the
that's gonna
highest.
take the other team's best player.
Well, we have the highest duo average points per game in the NBA now, just ahead of Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something that I heard a long time ago, and it's something I think about quite often. Just because you're adding a 20-point per game score doesn't mean that you're going to add 20 points to what you're scoring. Like
I
the
know
scoring's not going to change that much. It might go up like 2 or 3 points. Those It's just going to redistribute.
it's going up. So
It might go up. It might go up a little bit. It might go up by 3 points, but it's going to distribute in a different way. You're just
all
changing
right,
how
I can
you're
feel
scoring the
that.
points. You're just
That's
changing
fine.
who's scoring the points.
That makes sense. But also one cool fact: so far in the NBA, the number one points per game scorer in the first quarter is Luca, and the number one points per game scorer in the NBA in the fourth quarter is Kyrie.
Hmm.
So that's a pretty cool little combo to have.
Yeah, I mean
And
those trying to defend those two, if if Kyrie's locked in, trying to defend those two is going to be a nightmare.
yeah,
It just is.
and right now they're fourth in the West, even though they're like a game out of being 10th in the West.
Yeah.